You know, it seems like not too long ago when we were waiting in line to get the iPhone 6s, right? You know, with the cool Force Touch, the better cameras, and the faster processors, all that good stuff. But believe it or not, people are already talking about the iPhone 7. And while there are rumors just going about, if you take a look at the past, these rumors just could turn out to be true. So here's a look at everything we think we know about the iPhone 7 so far. Now, if you're like me and you actually decided to hold off on the S model because you're more of an Apple fan when they make the big design changes, well then the 7 just might be what you and I have been waiting for. In fact, many think that this next iPhone could be waterproof. Now there's plenty of water-resistant smartphones on the market, but not many that are completely unfazed by full contact with H2O. These waterproof iPhone 7 chassis components have allegedly been supplied by a place called Catcher Technologies, but this leads to a more interesting point, and that's that many believe that the iPhone 7 won't be made out of metal. If you look at the past, the next gen iPhone from 4 to 5 and 5 to 6 have been about either making the iPhone bigger or making the iPhone thinner, and it seems Apple is aiming towards the latter this time around. But see, the way they're going about it will make some happy and some others not so happy, because lately the buzz has been about how Apple is looking to get rid of the headphone jack and in exchange offer Bluetooth earpods in order to make the iPhone 7 a whole millimeter thinner than the current 6s. Getting rid of headphone jacks, while it sounds cool, it kinda sounds like a messy idea, because even with USB Type-C connectors, this makes the iPhone mimic the same woes of the new MacBook having connection problems, and I don't know if I'm ready to go through that kind of headache. But I guess really there's no choice, either that or buy more Bluetooth headphones in order to have an iPhone as thin as the iPad Air 2. These are the pains of innovation, people. These are the pains. Alright, so while the new design is always a major selling point of non-S-year iPhones, the other killer factors are special features. With the iPhone 6s, this was Force Touch, and with the 7, it looks like the attention is still lingering around the screen. Some think multi 3D touch may be around the corner, and others think home buttons will disappear and fingerprint recognition will be made on the display. Now these may sound like crazy moves, but you gotta remember this is the 7, so Apple is looking to leave big impressions on the market. And that's not even it. Previous Apple patents have suggested Apple is working on dual camera configurations and even wireless charging. Here, let me say that again. Wireless charging. Alright, yeah, cool. Wireless. Sorry, I just really would like that. And lastly, we can't forget about the power. Now up until the iPhone 6s, iPhones only had about 1 gig of RAM, but with the 7, things are changing because it looks like the plain old 7 will have 2 gigs of RAM, with the 7 Plus boasting about 3. And it's also leaving the A9 in the past, so those looking into the iPhone 7 can anticipate a new A10 chip, and of course maybe even a bigger battery for better battery life. Yeah, so it's got a lot going on according to the rumors, and if the rumors are true, we'll have a thinner iPhone that's possibly waterproof, possibly has no headphone jack, with possibly some crazy new displays, and possibly taking my money when the traditional release date of September rolls around. But will they even call it the iPhone 7, or will they come up with a new name? Well, if the iPhone 7 is going to be anything like all of this, anything's possible.